How long does it take for a happy person to listen to sad songs until they become sad too? How can music influence your emotional stability? What is the saddest type of music that has the most influence? I challenged myself to spend 7 days listening exclusively to sad songs. I underestimated this experience, but the result was surprising. Hello beings, welcome to the experience. My name is Flamino, and today you're going to see me spending 7 days just listening to music. Sad songs. Making this video was almost depressing. Please leave a like to make it worthwhile. I'll be really happy and comment Pocahontas. Right at the beginning of the experience, I decided to ask for a little help from ChatGPT to create a playlist for me. Extremely sad, right? I managed to do a search there, but sometimes it seems like ChatGPT doesn't really understand what I'm asking for. So I had to make several requests and be a bit more specific about what I wanted. That my goal was to listen to music throughout the whole week. He made a good list, but it was a very short, very small list. I created a playlist, so there were almost 200 songs. It's not that many songs, but I also don't listen to music all day, so I think it's a good number of songs to listen to over 7 days. To show how little I consume music, I don't even use Spotify or any music streaming service. I ended up finding out that I have YouTube Music because of something else I subscribe to over there. Comment below how many songs from this list you know. Then I began my experience. Now, more than ever, I was gonna use these headphones. I always start my mornings with breakfast. It's my favorite moment of the day. I'm really passionate about breakfasts. And there's no sad song that can make this moment sad for me. In fact, the songs I listened to at the start of my morning were really good. Wow. It's interesting to listen to music while doing activities, but I think we appreciate music much more when the activity doesn't require attention. It's very different from when I'm there, having my breakfast and listening to music. It's a more automatic process. So my mind ends up focusing more on the music. The next moment in my day when I could listen to music was during my workout. One thing I find a bit annoying is having to pay attention. If I have my headphones with me, if I haven't forgotten them somewhere, at the gym, believe it or not, I noticed a really positive result. Maybe because of the selection of songs I used to train, they really helped me improve my performance. Now I understand why in some competitions music is considered like a doping, because it really gives us a big boost. I see that almost everyone at the gym listens to music while working out. Now I understand why. It was really impressive to realize when the strength came from the body and when the strength came from mental preparation. Apparently, I don't really know my own strength limits. Because to reach those limits, I need to be very mentally prepared. I need to be mentally influenced. I'm thinking of making a playlist for times when I need motivation to make progress. I left the workout completely exhausted from pushing myself so hard. I even had the feeling that the workout went by a little faster because everything we don't like takes longer to pass, right? But when we're really focused on something, it goes by faster, and I hate working out. I'm really not a fan of going to the gym. I go for the discipline and because I know the results, but I don't like it. So my work environment has also changed a bit lately. Now I use Opera Air, which is basically a browser that has tools for your mental health. Now, I have a little soundtrack that plays while I do things in the browser. This soundtrack is totally customizable. From binaural sounds to ambient sound and the music itself that keeps playing. For those unfamiliar with binaural sounds, basically, it's a specific frequency that can influence our brain. With each of these frequencies, we tend to have a certain type of emotion, so this is influenced by music. Does the browser itself remind you to take some mindful breaks in your routine? You have things like meditation exercises, breathing, neck stretching. It's pretty interesting. I also end up having a cleaner and more optimized workspace, right? I created shortcuts for my most used items and can customize them in this tab on the side. Right at the beginning of this experience, I already noticed the influence of music on me. Because in this playlist of sad songs, there were a lot of songs that I really liked, but I hadn't listened to in many years. So the first influence I felt was nostalgia. Some songs reminded me of people, some songs reminded me of jobs. So from there you can already notice the influence of music. I felt very proud because of these nostalgic feelings, because the current moment in my life is the best one so far. Each year I become better, happier, and more satisfied with my situation. So when I feel nostalgic thinking about the past, about things I've done, about people who have come into my life, they're not negative nostalgic feelings. They're nostalgic feelings that I reflect on. It shows how happy I am now. Taking a shower was one of the best moments to really feel the music and focus on the music. We usually shower on autopilot without much thought. The playlist during my shower was really good. It's been a while since I listened to Brazilian music, but a great playlist came on, and when it was time to sleep, that was the first negative feeling I had with this experience, because the songs that played really affect me. I listened to those songs during some really tough times in my life. I think that if the whole experience had been made up of songs I listened to during sad moments, it would have been very different. I'm glad it wasn't like that. Man, I wasn't expecting that. Then the nostalgia came back, but from really bad times, and I handpicked the songs that I knew were from really bad moments. And then I ended up remembering other songs that I was also listening to during that time, and I went straight to those songs. I listened to around 12 songs before going to sleep, and I was remembering a lot of feelings, but in a way in the third person, as if I were Douglas from the past, who was suffering, but honestly, I wasn't suffering. And then there came a moment in the experience when I was doing my chores there, listening to songs I didn't know, songs from musical genres that I don't like, and the influence is very different. No, it doesn't work, no. For God's sake, what a bad song. I won't get sad, just angry. I'll stop now. I won't mention the artist's name to avoid a direct attack. Hitting the junior receiver is really bad. How can something become so successful? Seriously. More than half has already passed. There are 2 days of experience left. Today is tomorrow. No way. With music that I think is really bad, you can't focus on what the music wants to convey because the rhythm is annoying. So it strays somewhat from the experience's purpose. So I'm going to change the playlist here. At least to have bands that I like, even if there are songs I don't know, at least there are bands I like. It's not just heartbreak songs, my god, there are so many people who get cheated on, right? I can even empathize with music themes, with situations I've never been through, for example, losing a father. I can listen to the song and put myself in the musician's place and feel what he's trying to convey. But with songs about being cheated on, no, I've never been cheated on. Well, I think, right? If I was cheated on, my ex did it masterfully, because I never even suspected. But still, it's the kind of lyrics that just annoy me, and the music behind it annoys me even more. Sometimes the lyrics seem sad, but the rhythm doesn't match. And then... terrible. I noticed that among all these music types, rap gave me a slightly different feeling. Because rap, it talks a lot about reality, and it's a reality that I haven't experienced that much. But the musicians are really good at expressing that reality in music in a very sincere way. I realized it didn't affect me emotionally just while I was listening to the music. After I removed my headphones and returned to daily life, I didn't feel shaken or sad. But there were some specific songs that talked about things I went through. A lot. It feels like the artist made the song based on what I went through. Some songs have this ability to make it seem like the artist wrote them based on your life. Douglas went through that. Let's not touch on those points here, they're pretty sensitive. He'll get really sad when he hears this song. Comment below what's the song that best expresses the sad moment you went through? That it seems like the musician made just for you, to represent you. Many of the songs in this playlist were classical pieces, really classical, like Mozart, Beethoven, Chopin. Wow, Mozart is... he's a different kind of person, on another level. This song doesn't even have a real name. It's like symphony. I don't know what, those weird names for songs in C major. And can you imagine a whole context, a whole story for a song like that just by listening to it? Really? And I found it extremely inspiring. It even made me want to pick up some classical music to play on the guitar, but I haven't played in a long time. And Mando Costa isn't for just anyone. how I set up the camera here to talk about a song I'm listening to right now, which is a song by Yamando Costa. It's a song that's just on the guitar, there's no vocals, no lyrics, nothing like that. But it really gives off a sad vibe. It's impressive how, when the musician is good, he can convey the feeling he wants through the music, even if it's just with one instrument. But it's a little different, because the feeling I get is so much admiration for the technical level. And the quality of the music itself is so high that there's little room left to process the sadness that the music conveys. But it's really good, man. But honestly, we're all very influenced by many things. I think the environment we live in, the things we choose to consume, everything influences us a lot. So we have to be very careful with the kind of content we consume, because that will influence our actions and our emotional state. At the time when I was really depressed, my biggest idol was Kurt. It was obvious, a man took his own life. A band full of extremely depressing songs with really dark lyrics. It wasn't only the band that influenced me then. It was things that happened at school, it was things that happened in the family. The whole environment influences you to be who you are and to feel what you feel. So, if there's any positive message I can leave with this video, it's that you have a lot of ability to influence your emotional state. It's even the micro details, things like how you express yourself with other people, what you reaffirm to yourself. Oh, I'm very depressed. Oh, I don't like this or that. Always saying negative words. Our brain is plastic. There's something called neuroplasticity. The more we reaffirm something to our brain, the more it adapts to actually become that. So if you want to be a happier person, you can control a lot of that. So from today on, I'm going to keep listening to music in my daily life, whether it's sad songs or happy songs. I don't think so. I still haven't really gotten used to having to think about putting on music to do tasks. Even though music can improve my performance in something like at the gym, I still prefer not to listen to music. I like working out alone with my thoughts, and no, I don't have schizophrenia, I just mean my own thoughts. Thought. You got what I mean, right? Well, if you like this video, leave a like here. It will really help my work a lot. And consume things that will make you a better person, make you a happier person. It will help a lot, not just with music. With everything in your life, try to influence your brain to be happier, to be more productive, to stay away from sadness. And until the next experience. And I also ended up discovering that Radiohead is pretty much a band that only makes sad music. Wow, that guy must be really depressed. It even sounds like the guitar is crying. Yeah, I could. Wow, that explains why the floor is so sad. Could that be the reason? Wow, is there such a thing as a happy choriño? Oh no, do I have to look that up?